Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and pretty big changes started happening to warriors, primarily tanks. But I'm going to be on the warrior, Prot Warrior. I made a video a while ago with it not having the best possible talents, or not all the talents added. Dragon's Roar is a thing, Bolster competes with Never Surrender, Indomitable. Since last we looked at it, we had Ignore Pain, gone, now it's back. This is what the talents look like, this is the build that I've been running. So they made a big change to tanks and how you hold threat, how you hold aggro now. So they basically generally made it harder, is I guess the best way to put it. They made tanking and holding aggro harder. So in this video I kind of just want to double up, show you guys what warriors like, but also show you what's it like just trying to hold aggro. The idea is I kind of just want to run through this dungeon. I don't think it'll be too hard of a dungeon really, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And my hopes are that I could show you a little bit of the threat stuff. So the biggest difference to warriors and what happened to them based on threat, your abilities, every time you come in an AoE, they don't secure your threat anymore. Like, you know, I just AoE'd a bunch of these blobs here and I'm going to stun them, but when I hit them well with a thunderclap, normally in Legion, that'd be a pretty nice way for me to just have control and aggro off of them. Now I have to try a little bit harder. So it was like some kind of a rate, like a threat meter, and I never played back in like the days where threat meters actually mattered. But threat meters used to matter at one point in World of Warcraft. So the biggest change they're doing is basically trying to incorporate threat meter back into the game to some extent. Tanking is going to be a little bit harder. With the artifact weapons granting you a lot more threat from your abilities, you can just kind of sneeze in the direction of mobs, and for the most part, you will be able to draw plenty amount of aggro. Now, you'll have to try a little bit harder to draw that same amount of aggro. Abilities like Taunt and abilities like Heroic Throw end up coming up to be a lot stronger worth of abilities. And are going to be a lot more important. Like, I'm losing aggro right now just by tagging in this dude's general direction, but now I'm just going to have to kind of sort of try to find a way to either bring up my DPS here, or also trying to play survival game. I might actually, I think I got the aggro now, I think I got the threat available, but using abilities like Heroic Throw and Taunt, even when you already have aggro on the enemy, might be something warriors will start doing all of a sudden yet again. Like right here, I don't think it should be that hard for me to hold aggro. I didn't mean to pull those blobs, but let's just start actually trying to survive as a tank, because I'm definitely not that great at a tank. I think with this next pack of mobs, what I think I'll just do is I'll focus on the big guy. I will try really hard not to cleave off of him. This will be kind of a big and hard pull, so I'll just try not to cleave with Revenge. I'm just gonna try to, if anything, just hit the enemies with a thunderclap. And I know I have a charge for Revenge available. I'm just not going to cash that in at all. And you can kind of see the aggro, like when the enemies have like a yellow bit above their tooltip, or above their health bar, that means they're losing aggro from me. I'm actually going to try to play a little bit of a little bit of survival here. Here we go. I got some things happening. I got this guy's threat aggro drawn. So, classes that have threat redirecting, like rogues, look, I just lost the threat of that guy. I have to use abilities like, for example, Heroic Throw in order to get back threat from this dude. But it's interesting, because they basically want to make tanks not just come in and you swipe the enemies and then bam, now everybody wants your head. They want for you to actually have to manage threat while also have to manage survivability. So, that might be difficult altogether, but from what I've seen, I honestly, when I originally saw this on Wowhead, I was expecting for this to really be kind of like a shit show online, as Talias and Evertel like to coin it. And it really wasn't that bad. I'm surprised how many people were actually on for the change in terms of tanks. And I originally saw the comments for this on Wowhead, and I was very much surprised. I really thought there was going to be some kind of a crazy push against this, and there probably still is in some cases. I haven't scouted all the parts of forums quite yet. Yeah, I think we'll have a lot more areas where there's going to be a lot of enemies, so that's where I want to pop Avatar, to make sure that I'm holding a lot of the aggro. So not only will tanks want to try to do as much DPS as possible, but now you'll want to do DPS not because you're trying to help on the damage meter, you're trying to up your damage so that you are not falling behind on the aggro meter. Let me go trigger the boss real quick by walking up next to him. Or maybe I gotta kill the blobs. Actually, it could be the blobs. So I kind of just wanted to run through a lot of the parts in the dungeon and just showcase you guys a little bit what's it like here and there. And is this guy not triggering? Is this dungeon... I mean, I'm not surprised if it's broken. It might be broken. Okay, I was about to write the boss doesn't actually activate, but takes a while. I don't think I'll have that hard of time doing this boss on here. But anyway, that's like the main point, and I think I'll come back to you guys after this boss. We'll see what we get out of it on the end of the fight. But I kind of want to see what we'll end up getting for like the next encounter. It'll be easier or harder. Okay, so we actually have the enemy splitting into 3. What I'm going to do is keep using throw at that guy to see if I can kind of get some aggro onto him. And then, yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to do. I don't think you can really realistically aggro these guys. I'm going to taunt at him and use throw in order to maximize my taunt here. Okay, I'm bad. Oh no. Oh, that's embarrassing. I mean, I knew that was going to happen eventually, and I was just expecting. I was thinking it was going to be a matter of days until that something like that happens to me on my Outlaw Rogue, but it's okay because I have Grappling Hook. And it happens on my Warrior, and I have Heroic Leap, and it just doesn't go off. Alright, I'm just going to have to play very defensive here. I'm going to walk him out of that rune, if possible. And I think that's just what I'm going to do for now. Gale wins. Yeah, let's not deal with those. Up defensive. I think we should be okay, honestly. Here we go. Yeah, so I came in with a lot of aggro here, not to do insane amounts of damage, but mostly just to make sure that I'm getting a lot of threat to me. So a lot of tanks right now are looking at, say, like Mythic Pluses and whatnot, and they're really thinking about how much damage am I doing for the group. I want to try to see if I can pull a bunch of enemies and see if I can hold aggro. I might die here. Very high potential for me to die, so I'm just going to pop cooldowns here. And then Avatar, I'm going to dispel them. Yeah, we already have some guys that are losing aggro off of me. Gonna pop this right here. Pop myself a self-heal. Okay, stun them all. As you can see, a bunch of them have yellow tooltips over their heads. I'm actually gonna pop another defensive just because I'm uncertain. But I'm having a hard time really managing aggro. Like, everybody else is trying to pop cooldowns and do damage. And even though I'm doing top damage right now for my team, I'm having a hard time with aggro as they're starting to hit everybody else is doing damage at the same time. This one in particular is going to be hard too. I'm just going to take him on the side just because it's going to get pretty obnoxious after a while. Can I stun him all? Oh, the healer's dead. Okay, cool. Can I survive? That is my question. Probably. Probably not anymore. Not with this guy out here. Wait, hold on. I can heal. Power Flesh. We should have people stand in the ruins when that happens. You know what? So far, it doesn't seem that terrible. I mean, I've been seeing people in BFA so far have had a hard time doing some of the content, some of the material here. Like, people are taking a little bit too much damage sometimes. Power Flesh. I mean, I can kind of sort of help you. I've been noticing tanks having a bit harder time tanking. You know, it feels like they just drop in aggro a little bit too easily. But as a rogue, it doesn't really bother me because if there's ever any moment where a tank is dropping aggro, I'm kind of used to it. Skittish Wick from Mythic Plus allows me to actually shine. I don't know a lot of people that bring a rogue, let alone Outlaw. So for me to have like a spot where as an Outlaw, I can really compete and actually do something cool, you know, be actually valuable for my team and bring that misdirect so that all the threat can go to the tank, I feel like it just makes me valuable as a team member. And it feels good because it feels like I'm actively helping tanks manage threat. And that's something a lot of classes used to do back in the day, is help manage threat. And I said before that I feel like BFA as well as Legion, it feels like they're rolling back to older versions of the game, or at least the older mechanics. Like, for example, buffs. You used to have that everybody in the Mother maintained a buff for everybody. But now, you don't really have that in Legion. It's just not really a thing. Then we have the GCD. A lot of abilities used to be on GCD, and they kind of rolled a bunch of them on there and started taking them off as they started feeling, some started feeling clunky, some started feeling less good, and then just overall just starts feeling a little bit better in the long run. So it feels like Blizzard is taking certain mechanics kind of towards the older versions of the game, and I have no idea how this is supposed to play for tanks. I don't know if this is supposed to be some kind of fun. I feel like I'm definitely engaging a lot more having to manage threat, because as a warrior, I'm usually just running in and I'm spamming Ignore Pain. I'm usually just worried about spamming Ignore Pain so I don't take any damage. But here, I'm actually kind of sort of concerned about my threat management, my rage management, my aggro management, you know, making sure I have to cleave. Because normally on live servers, I don't have to cleave with revenge like at all. I don't really have to. I mean, when there's a free proc, that's the only time I really do something like that, but past that, not really. And I think the healer is going to keep dying. That might be pretty bad. So I feel like for tanks, it's, yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it. I feel like, and that's my concern. Can we get a res? I guess tanks right now, I feel like just try to do the most amount of damage, but now it will be like, okay, how well can I manage my threat? And somebody said in the comments maybe tanks passing threat from one to the other might be a lot more interesting in the... I'm gonna just wait for you to get fully healed up. Are you even a Holy Paladin? You have a versatility sword. Might want to get intellect weapons first, Pala. Look at that. That guy's just getting de-aggroed off of me. Oh, it's the little things, man. It's the little things, honestly. I guess for a lot of classes, for tanks, I would think it's going to be about playing around with your resources and then trying to find moments where you need to pop defensives and then moments where you need to hold aggro. So I guess what they're trying to do is make sure, and this is an interesting theory that I forgot who said. I think it was might have been, I forget who. I don't even know. But they said that they kind of want to give back the gameplay to healers, to the tanks, and I guess some of the DPS. For example, like, you know, rogues and hunters, I said earlier, that whole shtick about being able to misdirect threat and being kind of useful for your party, and or group, stuff like that. Then we have healers, because if tanks are able to, like they are in Legion, for example, is just to heal through everything and be, you know, one-man machine, then healers don't have anything else to really do, and then healers start a DPS kind of deal. So let's say tanks will be fairly decent at, I don't know, holding aggro and trying to pop defensives to mitigate damage, but then, oh god, you son of a sack of asses. Yeah, I need to hit them both. Here's the aggro thing coming in. I'm probably putting Ignore Paint together with Shield Block, and it's probably really bad for me, isn't it? Big cooldowns again. More big cooldowns. I think I need to give this guy some lovin', just to make sure he doesn't de-aggro from me. So the healer is healing me. I'm not focused on healing whatsoever. The DPS are focused on damage, and I'm just trying to hold this guy's aggro and trying to line up defensives together with what the healer can provide. So when the healer cannot heal me and he's having to heal their party group members, I'm having to heal myself here. I'm having to focus on myself. But I'm also trying to wrestle the aggro away from the DPS as they need to go ham. So I guess there's a bit more going on in my head now, rather than just spamming my big heal, or I guess the Ignore Pain button that just about every other tank has, or like a self heal, I guess, of sorts. Gonna let the drop off real quick. Or not. Okay, you guys, I guess you guys get to decide how I'm going to do my pulls, apparently. Okay, so since there's a bunch of enemies, I think what I'm gonna do is try to do damage to them to try to hold them back here, so they don't really move around. Kick this guy on that. I'm gonna just throw and taunt at him, just to make sure that I have full attention on this guy. But he has full attention on me. Some of them might want to have to kick him, maybe? Or just tank it up just because I know that's gonna hurt. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not a good idea for everybody just... Okay. Like, at this point, you guys are just messing with me. At this point, you just... You know what? You can have one of them. I'm gonna try to aggro both of them as best as I humanly can. Okay, well, I can't now, because I know I'm gonna die. Is this shadow damage taken? Are they hitting me with shadow damage? For all we know, they probably are. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, you know, as I'm playing this right now, as somebody who is playing in Legion, I just feel like I'm having to wrestle for aggro a little bit more than usual. But it also just means that there's moments where I just need to go in and kind of hope that my healer got me and use shield wall, which is my, like, active mitigation as much as possible in order to kind of survive through that. Past that, it doesn't feel terrible at all. I'm wondering how, like, tank mains will look at these changes, you know, what tank mains would end up saying. And I think I want to stand in between of these things. I think that's what I'm trying to do here. At least that's what I'm supposed to for this part of the fight, or this part of the encounter. I definitely don't want to pull the two of these guys. I don't want to pull all of them. Of course, of course. Come over here. Come over here, you sad sons of bitches. Here we go. Beautiful, right? Hey, we got a stun. We got a second stun, maybe. Just trying to stop the rip mine, because I don't want my mine to be ripped. Mental assault? No, thank you. Not a huge fan of that. Rip mind? Okay. So I'm going to throw at him. I'm going to hit these guys all. Cleave them a little bit some more. Pop a big defensive on them, or damage reduction. Here we go. Reflect up, just because I don't even know what's going on. Yeah, we want to run our shadow orbs at the priest. Here we go. Now that we did that, they are free, I think. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go take this real quick. Yeah, I did no damage. How's my threat? It's 100%. Okay, cool. I have no idea how I'm doing though. It looked like, okay, now it's 200. So it did look like the DPS were actually wrestling a little bit of that threat. And it felt like I almost lost it for a second. That was interesting. And I'm gonna hope that we don't pull any of the eels, because they're just... Huh. I would... Huh. Okay. Yeah, these things can actually hurt me pretty bad. So I don't like that. They hit me for shadow damage over time. Good thing I can reflect it, sorta, kinda. Or at least stop a lot of it. Oh, come on. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this, boys? Oh, why are we doing this, boys? Why are we doing this, boys? I need some big heals, guy. Okay, actually, no, they dropped my aggro. Why? How do we keep pulling? Shadow Priest, my man. I'm not sure what you're trying to do over here. But somehow you're just aggroing everybody. It's like you just walk into the room and everybody's like, wow, you look so goddamn ugly. I want to punch you in the face or something. Like, what'd you do to piss them off? Alrighty, well, one of these guys is just not taking that much damage. Okay, I have no idea how you managed to draw that much aggro, but I'm out. No, I quit. No, I quit. I quit. Oh, Jesus. Can I just somehow kill you? And get... Yeah, I gotta heal. Oh, that's all I can do, though. Cool. I don't know how the Shadow Priest is drawing so much aggro. I'm pretty sure that's not what this video was about, is Shadow Priest aggro. But goddamn. Maybe this guy is actually that ugly, and the water snakes are just actually... they find his face absolutely absurd. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't understand. Worley, what an... Okay, healer, you gotta dispel yourself. Does he know that, though? I've never done the healing, the tanking part of this boss. Never have I ever. Here we go. I guess that's how we do it then. Huh. Okay. Okay, well, I mean, this didn't feel like bad at all. I mean, it depends on the tank, it depends on the healer. I don't know where warriors are at in terms of tanks, but last time I looked at all the classes, warriors definitely were not one of the easiest tanks. I felt like demon hunters were easier, just the amount of people you can pull is insane, and you do a lot of damage. So I would think maybe this will still be an issue with some tanks, because some tanks definitely do more damage than others. Again, demon hunters do a lot of damage as part of the playstyle. I would think blood DKs do a lot of damage. Maybe bear druids do just a lot of swipes, so a lot of AoE. For me, my AoE is kind of due to cooldowns that I'm having to build up rage and watch for procs, and then having to spend that rage. And then there's a GCD where I have to choose whether I want to do damage or self-heal myself, where I cannot raise my shield, and it's all a little bit expensive. So I feel like if it worked for the Prot Warrior, which I don't know if this is the hardest tank to play, it definitely does seem a lot harder, or at least to me, a lot more difficult than, let's say, Brewmaster, for example, which I loved. GCD not really holding you back at all there. Demon Hunter, which I felt like was really easy. Bear, where it's all about just swipes for days. A heal on demand whenever you need it. I guess if I can do that on a Prot, fairly okay. I think a lot of other players that are actually good at tanks will find this not that terrible. Let me know if you're a tank, what are your thoughts on it, I guess is the best way I can ask the question here. In the comments, I'd like to hear from you guys. I'm not like a tank main, but I would like to hear any of you guys that are tank mains that are expecting BFA, if you think this is going to be a good change, if you think this is going to be a bad change, and most importantly, why. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully this was enough of an insight into what's new in BFA, and I guess give you guys a bit of what Prot Warrior looks like for PvE dungeon tanking. And I'll see all of you guys in another video.